straight. Caught up in the games they play. High-speed chases gone awry. Serious turns into pie in the sky. Just out of jurisdiction. Laughter and a conviction.
I wish Josh would have sang. Have you ever heard him sing? He's pretty good.
No.
He won't do it.
I'm not a singer.
He can play guitar, though.
I can play about anything.
Well, he has to go up there and show me how to play drums every week. It's hard being the third. Well, seriously, it's hard being the third best drummer up there when his son's here. Which, and that's serious. But they've shown me so much, and it's been 5, 6, 7 years. It's amazing where I've come from.
Yeah,
And he's like,
absolutely.
that guy's retarded up there on that drum kit. To like, hey. I'm not saying I'm great by any means. I'm like, here's beginner. I'm just above beginner. I'm pushing towards it.
Intermediate.
Yeah.
But he'll challenge. He's like, here's a new rock beat for you today. And I was like, I mean, it's just like, so that's my goal for this week is to learn how to, that timing.
That's funny.
Because I can't make all 4 limbs do different things. I'm still at like 3 limbs.
It's tough.
It is. I don't, and I don't know how you get to the.
You can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same time.
But that's natural. Hitting something in a different time and making all 4 limbs do it at a different pace than walking is really different.
I've tried to play drums. It's my musical endeavors have not went well.
Which I enjoy it, so that's the good part. But you can learn it if I learned it.
It's like
This is
anything
true.
else.
Yeah, if you can learn it, then anybody
Well, the
can.
key is not start when you're 38 years old. When I did, it's been about 10 years. But like, how old were you to start playing guitar and stuff?
14 probably.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken up something like that. Dad tried to teach me how to play the guitar a few years back, and I can't.
It's like anything else. Depends on how much time you put in it.
Yeah,
Gotta
I don't have the
practice.
time now to.
COVID, and during COVID,
That would have been an excellent time.
well, everybody at the house was tinkering around that. I went straight to ukulele.
There you go.
I could put my hands on it.
Of course. Got little girl hands.
I know. No, I should be able to reach out there. It's just I can't make them move. It's like too much.
Need my good hand.
All right, you got us.
I got us. Everybody sound good?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
All right. All right. We're back with another episode for you.
Of course, he's recorded. I forget that he hits the record while we're talking.
Might get some good clips.
That's right.
That's exactly
That's
right. You got to get that B-roll going.
Yeah.
But we're back with another good episode for you, and this one may end up being a long one.
We hope so.
We hope so.
A 2-part, if we can. If we can.
So we've got another guy that I didn't get the opportunity to work with any, but I've known him for a while and got to experience him as a neighbor for a long time.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
There's just a whole nother podcast on that.
Yeah. I still find random golf balls in places.
That's awesome.
But we've got the Gaylor with us.
Josh Gaylor. Wow. So Josh was he was my first, I won't say first training officer, but he was like the most, I probably spent most of my time with Josh.
I don't remember how that came about.
Yeah. I would go to
You switched from you go
day
to
shift,
different
second
officers.
shift. Yeah. But my day shift training officer was Josh, and we did some things that I didn't understand why we were doing, but we did some things. And then
Neither did I.
but Josh lived right. I lived on Morgan Street, and whatever it was behind Clark Street.
Clark Drive. Yeah.
Yeah, Clark. And I'd see Josh with his boat and his pulling out his cruiser all the time. I was like, that guy, he's living the life. I'm going to be a city police officer. So I don't know if we really knew each other besides just like, hey.
At that point, I don't think so.
No.
Probably.
No, not yet, but quickly.
Quickly,
we got to know each other well. So how'd your policing start?
You know, my intentions out of high school was to go. I went to college on a music scholarship to Moorhead. Tim Smallwood, for whatever I knew Tim from since I was a baby, and he's like, "You ever thought about being a cop?" Nah, I don't know. And that's how it started.
No, he planted a seed.
Planted the seed.
Yeah.
And at the time, I think he was maybe a lieutenant or something. So went through the process. I think I went through the process 2 or 3 times, I guess. And I guess I got hired in 98, I think.
Okay. Now there's a story about before we get into that, like you played some rock and roll music with some local guys here growing up.
Yeah.
The Crowhart, right?
Crowhart was
Yeah,
our
they were
original.
awesome. The bluesy rock band.
We did,
Probably-
yeah.
Did y'all steal that from the Black Crows?
I don't think so. I think
It sounds like something.
Yeah.
it was just something stupid.
Is there still recordings available of this?
We hope so. But if we can,
we
we'll
can
put
find
them on
it,
this.
Somewhere I do, and I'll have to dig that up.
We'll dig it
We
up.
might make that the intro music for this
But
one.
there's a rumor, and I don't know if you told somebody that you had an offer to play, maybe record with a country singer. Is this true?
That was many moons ago. Yeah, that was actually in high school, and we were long-haired rockers
Right.
and didn't want no part of that old country music. So yeah, that was out.
But it's pretty popular singer at the time that was in Nashville and recording all over.
He has family maybe here or something, or has connections here.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it just never. I was like, I ain't playing.
I'm
that
not
crap.
playing no country music. I'm going to be a city police officer.
The decisions we've made.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
If you'd have known, like, hey, if I'd have just took that gig, or was it a touring guitar,
don't know.
whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever it was. I wasn't interested.
If he would have took that gig down in Nashville or wherever, he could have probably played for about anywhere, at least recording
Yeah.
sessions or whatever, because he's super talented. But what a mistake.
Oops.
I think in this, in this job line, we all look back and say, how did I end up here? Yeah.
Would you do it over?
Yeah.
You do it all
I'd
over?
do it all over.
Yeah, I probably would.
Would you?
Probably.
After he went to Nashville and recorded?
Well,
Try.
I would change certain aspects of
Yeah.
it, but I would
So-
go back.
So
do it all
my
over.
thought pattern was I got out of the Marines, started doing work for the local electric company. Should have stayed there, but I missed that bond, that camaraderie that you have from it. So the esprit de corps, if you will. And I thought, how could you do that and serve your community? Why not? I should have went to the fire department, I guess. But
You definitely have to have a heart for service.
Yeah.
yes.
There's no other way.
I've never enjoyed a job more, but I've also never hated a job more at
Yeah,
the same
it's
time.
frustrating.
But I had many days of being like, man, I should have never left FedEx. I'm an idiot. So I mean,
All right, I interrupted you. So you got your start. Tim planted the seed.
Basically, yeah.
And what year did you go to the academy?
98.
1998. That was
Went to the academy it was me, John Whitehead, Mike Holliday,
they've all been mentioned before.
what
and Greg Reams.
What
I went
class?
to the academy at the same time.
what class number were you on?
268.
All right, to put that in perspective, I was 482 when I
What
went
year?
through. 16.
I was 02. I was 324. So yeah, they were putting about 5 classes.
We were running.
at
Yeah,
a
we had
time, 4 or 5 classes at a
5
time.
or 6 classes
You
while
know,
we were
you'd
going.
be 3 weeks spread apart, but that's so they run through a lot of classes. But
We were lucky enough to go under the 10-week.
oh yeah, I made
Yeah,
it
ours
to the
was
6
23.
I was a 16 weeker.
Yeah, you suck too.
But I thought, man, I just had missed the 10 weeker just a couple,
Yeah,
listen,
maybe a
we-
year.
Wouldn't have been long.
I think they went back to 20 weeks now because we looked at our curriculum and the scheduling the way it was. There was like 2 weeks of dead time
Yeah.
that we had that was not necessary.
So you went with Whitehead, who's been mentioned on the first one on some
Yeah.
stuff. That guy, legend.
He is.
A legendary.
Big John, the Sasquatch.
He is 6'7",
Ish. Yeah.
a monster of a
He
man.
is, yeah.
And I told everybody about him. He got me out of more fights. Like people look up and just like,
They know
like
I'm
Frankenstein and be
Yeah.
like, never mind, I'm out.
Absolutely.
he could
Look
fight
like Herman
everybody.
Munster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he could throw hands too back in
Absolutely.
the day. I think he was like a Taekwondo black belt or something or
And
whatever.
fluent in Spanish.
No way.
Yeah.
Could play.
Way smarter than he looks.
Yeah.
He played music too. Wasn't he a guitar player too? And
I
he
think
played some music.
I think he dabbled.
I think he could play. And then Fuzz.
Mhm.
He was with the sheriff's office probably, or was he with city police?
When we went to the academy, I think he was at the SO.
Okay, so legendary guy. He's been everywhere. He's
Yes.
I think he's firefighting right now, and damn well he won't give it up. And then, who else you say?
Holiday.
Doc Holliday, who's been mentioned a couple of times on here. Which one of them guys was your roommate, or did they break you up?
Neither. Yeah, we were all split up. My roommate that I went to the academy with died several years back. Actually,
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, got lung cancer and died.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
He was from Flemingsburg.
Wow. Yeah,
Where
you
is
remember these guys?
Where is Flemingsburg?
I think it's out east, isn't it? I don't know.
Easterly, somewhere.
Easterly.
Okay.
I really don't know. But hey, my academy roommate was Danny Robinson. They stuck
Really?
us together, and I wish they would have gave me somebody else.
They
That guy
split me and
snored
Burton
awful.
Patrick up also. The guy that I had, he was a good guy. Hibbs, he was from an agency over in Louisville. I can't remember what it's called. It was something, little small agency, but yeah, he was a good guy. I enjoyed him.
Well, I think each coordinator may have thought like, well, these guys are going to work together. Let's let them, roommate together. And I'm like, after Danny's snoring episodes, it's like, yeah.
I wouldn't want to use the bathroom with Danny.
No.
After the stories you've told.
Yeah, it was
There's
awful.
no way I want to go in after that nuclear holocaust.
So tell me about the academy. What'd y'all get into there?
Oh goodness. Well, of course we drove. I'm sure y'all did too. Commuted every week or stayed a week. Came home on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our general process was each weekend something would happen, and we would have to come report to the captain's office for whatever had happened during that the last week.
Oh no, that's worse than me. I thought we were bad because we got reported, I know 4 or 5 times, but they never called us in on the carpet. It was all after told about how many times we got called in on.
And John could elaborate on some of that probably, but
We'll have to see if he could come in.
if it wasn't a report of somebody dancing on tables at Applebee's or speeding or it was just something every weekend.
What?
I'm seeing now that you all are the reason as to why the rules changed so much and we weren't allowed to do anything when we were up there.
I'm not saying all the accusations were accurate.
Not all of them.
Not
Some of them were.
Some of them could have been.
What else did y'all do?
What's the statute of limitations?
I think we're good now.
No, I can't think of anything too terrible, but just terrible enough to get called in every weekend. It
Yeah.
seemed like.
That's hilarious. I can't believe. Man, that was some characters with you there.
Oh man!
So how was?
And like before you go to the academy, I don't know what you all did. If y'all just, on your start day, you went to the academy or whatever. But
Yeah, we
whenever
didn't
we started like a week before the academy day.
Mhm.
So we were just doing stuff around the office, painting or this or that.
Yeah.
So, and John could elaborate on this too. One of John's earlier complaints, I guess, was we were he went out to pick up lunch. So we hadn't been sworn. We were just waiting to go to the academy. Calls it on the radio. I'm out with so-and-so and this and that and 10:15, or I can't remember how it all went down, but that kind of went downhill pretty quick.
I can imagine.
He's not even
Sworn,
officially sworn yet.
I don't think we were. We were just kind of hanging out, waiting to go to the academy. We might have been sworn, but we weren't supposed to be doing anything.
Right. I would say you were sworn.
Yeah.
Just do not stop cars.
Yeah,
Do
basically.
not interact with people.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're doing. Our policy manual was there at one time was full of John Whitehead, which I love. It's not that he was just well,
I
there's
love
no
John.
rule against that. We better make something.
I love John.
Oh, he's
I love
great.
him to death.
Have you really had an accomplished policing career if your face is not next to a policy somewhere in the manual?
True.
Yeah.
That's a good time.
Yeah, if you had never gotten in trouble, you weren't doing your job.
No.
No. What? So y'all graduated with everybody made it through, and
Yeah, everybody made it through well.
so what happened? Who was your training officers and stuff?
My first FTO officer was Jim White.
Jim Whalen.
If you remember
yeah,
Jim.
I know Jim.
And my very first impression of Jim Whalen, I got hooked up with Jim. He walks into the office one day. He's got a pen on his uniform, big metal pen that says "Kill 'em all and let God sort 'em out." And he goes into the captain's office, and that goes downhill too pretty quick. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was my very first impression of Jim Whalen.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
That
classic.
Jim he was a great guy too. I like Jim.
So tell us about. I know you just mentioned something about your first, like getting checked off. I'm sure there's other stuff in the academy. You go wherever you want, but that story about our the captain.
Getting released from FTO.
Yeah. So it's about I don't know how long it was for you, but it's about a 13.
It's 15 weeks for
Yeah.
us is what
Yeah,
it
it's
what
whatever.
it yeah,
That you-
13 to 15.
You do your field training, so it's like a OJT. See if you got
Yeah.
this or
Yeah.
not before they released you.
And before you got released, a supervisor or whoever would come out and ride with us, you know, to check you off or whatever,
Yeah.
so you're good to go.
Yeah.
And I was on nights at the time, and the person that came to do my check-off ride was Jim.
Yeah.
I guess he was captain.
Yeah.
So, also at the time, I can't remember who all else was there. Derek House was.
Derek's been on.
He was, I think he was still a patrolman at the time. And so he dares me. He's like, you know, you don't have a hair when Jim gets in the car, if you don't hold his hat like Smokey and the Bandit. Okay. So, you know, you don't dare cops to do stuff.
No.
And so Jim gets in the car. Derek, they're all like in the car behind us or whatever. So I just reach over and I grab Jim's hat. And I was like, let me hold your hat, Daddy. And he spins his head around to me, and the hat stays still, but his head like spins inside the hat. And he just looks at me like he's going to rip my face off.
Oh my gosh. I've seen that look. I know that
Yeah,
look.
everybody knows that look.
Oh my gosh. He could.
It's awesome.
Man, he put your mouth up.
Yeah.
Look at you like, I'm gonna kill you. And,
Jim's a good guy. I like Jim.
Oh, he's great. He could flat shoot a pistol.
You ain't kidding.
He could. We go. Phew, gosh. What else you got?
Oh man, where do you go from there? On Jason Vanek was one of my FTO
Okay.
officers, and I'm sure. I don't know. Did he ever FTO you?
No,
Or-
I took his spot. When he went to state police, him and
Okay.
Chuck and John Whitehead went to state
yeah.
police, and then I think it was John. Somebody, he made me and Danny Robinson and Rodney Van Zant took their spots.
Okay,
So yeah,
but yeah, Jason was another one. He was
working with him a
constantly-
lot. Yeah,
Jason was constantly jacking with you over
Oh,
something, you know. But
big cut up.
yeah, you'd be
I
sitting
love
at a red light, you know, noon on Main Street, and he'd just reach over and flip your sirens and lights on.
There's nothing like
Make you look like an idiot in front
Oh,
of
yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
everybody getting out of the way.
Yeah.
One time, I'll tell you a quick story. I came back from a call, and I just had come to day shift. It's like when we got, split up. And I was on day shift. Just led a funeral procession down the Parkway. Drove all the way back into town, pull in the back lot of the PD. And Lodge was sitting out back, the chief. He just pointed up at just a little flick of his finger at my light bar. I was like, holy cow, look down. I had driven probably 10 miles because I went on patrol after that with those lights on. I was like, I was wondering why everybody's getting out of my way. I was like, oh my gosh, those old ones didn't make any noise. And there was no click, let you know it's on. It just,
I've done the
The old
opposite of that.
strobes, yeah.
yeah.
When we had those Tauruses that had all your components were in the drawer in the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you pulled that drawer out, it unplugged something.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to stop a car one time. Had my lights, I'd flipped everything on, and it's working on the dash panel. Well, I've got nothing going up top, and I'm getting pissed
Oh, I
off
know. Oh, I
because they're
know.
not pulling over, and I'm getting ready to call out in pursuit. And I finally look and see the reflection. I was like, I don't have any lights on.
Yeah. They used to have somehow they had those push button things, and I remember one time going to a hot call, turning on my siren, but not any lights. I was like, get out of my way. What is wrong with it? You know.
Yeah.
I was like, what is wrong with these freaks? Why won't they get out of the way? I'm just blaring out. There's no lights on at all. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
I just look like a fool driving around.
That's one of those you just turn around. You just this is over with. I'm done with that. Forget it.
It's like, I ain't gonna make it, guys.
No.
It wasn't nothing anyway.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jason, I don't know if you remember, or I'm sure you've heard the stories of when he's off duty, basically starting pursuits with the on-duty officers and stuff, like on his motorcycle. He was always doing
Oh yeah, I have heard mention of that.
Yeah, I heard there was some trouble. Just about got in some big trouble on them.
Yeah.
Gosh, it happened. I've heard about those stories. There was a lot. I'd say he was in that policy manual.
I'm sure, absolutely.
Guaranteed.
There's a chapter. I have no doubt.
It's sandwiched in somewhere in between the Whitehead.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was funny. We had, gosh, John. I remember all the time he'd get called in the carpet.
I remember one time we were in our dorm at the academy, and my roommate at the time, he's over by the window, and he said, "Isn't that your guy out there?" Don't know. So I go to the window, and he's like, and I'm getting ready. There's getting ready to be a throwdown, but I have no idea who he's getting ready to fight with. So we had to go down, get inside. But yeah, it was
What are you doing?
interesting. Yeah,
What was he about to throw down?
I have
with?
no. Some other officers from somewhere.
Oh my gosh, it's probably just ran their mouth or something.
They probably deserved it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, he's so funny. We need to have him on. John needs to come on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't
I've
see
tried to
any.
reach out to Fuzz, but I'm getting the no answer yet. So we'll see. But I
He's
need
not,
to reach out to him.
He's not interested, or is he?
I don't know. I don't know if he's ducking me or what right now.
Yeah.
He might change numbers. I don't know.
He may have.
But you never know with firefighters if they're asleep or whatever.
Playing Xbox.
It's not seen Fuzz in ages.
He's still the same.
I've not
old
seen him in
Fuzz.
a while.
I saw him up there in Danville when I was working up there, just checking fire hydrants one day.
Fuzz stories at the academy. They would do a semi-room check on occasion. So they'd come, and Fuzz's roommate would like put pillows and stuff in Fuzz's bed or whatever.
Yeah.
He's asleep. he'd be like in London or wherever.
That's awesome.
I never thought about that.
Our room inspections were a little more in depth.
Yeah, they
your
come in and actually
Your
like-
bed had to be made, and
Yeah, but the night shift, when they come in night, they were always sticking a PBT in our mouth.
Really?
Yeah.
yeah, we never actually had to do it, but we got threatened with it every night.
We
And then
did.
we had the key cards that if you didn't come in
Certain time.
at a certain time, you were
When
questioned.
We was one of the first classes in those new dorms over there, and they had those key fob things where they kind of track us pretty good. So I was like, yeah.
We were
Yeah.
at the Maddox Hall, I think it was.
Yeah.
On
He was
campus.
over on campus.
Yeah.
We were across the road over there at the academy.
We had, I don't know if you remember Terry Runner. Do y'all have him in
Yeah, I remember.
training?
Yeah.
Great guy. Love
Yeah.
Terry. He was our dorm guy, whatever he was called. And he would just stand there, get in, everybody get in here, get in here.
Yeah, hurry up.
Yeah,
I-
hurry up.
I want to think that Runner did our crime scene photography and
I think he'd done a lot
set
of
up like
accident stuff.
Accident.
Yeah.
He did our accident. Taught how to write an accident report.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
Man, we just so happened in my academy class. They told us it was a nighttime drive, and they said, it's got that drive down there on the bottom. It's got some fake, the railroad crossing down there. And they gave us a strict order of no more than 45 miles an hour.
Reminds me of another story. Go ahead.
He hits that. Some guys hit that down there, bounce it, spin it, hit a vehicle down there that they had a reconstruction class going on. So there was a wrecked vehicle down there. Now, the next day, they left that car sitting in there and came out and
done
did
a
a reconstruction
reconstruction.
on that car wreck.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
You talk about guys that were puckering. They were definitely on standby for graduation. They were like, holy cow,
Yeah.
because they were like speed. You know they weren't going 45 miles an hour.
So did you all know Andy Ferguson?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
he's at Danville PD now.
Really?
Yeah, I worked with him.
Did not know that.
Yeah,
He was our firearms instructor.
he was mine too.
He was
yeah.
fish and wildlife before
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, and he done a lot of the, what's it called? That section,
Tactics.
all that stuff, driving, shooting.
Yeah, he was our
yeah, he's
driving
over at
instructor.
Tactics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I guess, is he from London? Or
I
worked
think he's-
London or something? Or
I think he may have worked that area. I don't know.
Maybe.
he had some kind of connection to London. But
Yeah.
so everybody, all of us from Laurel County, for whatever reason, they like to give us a hard time, just out of fun. So when we were doing our pursuit driving, of course they gave out the call, ATL for this, whatever, and it was the instructor. We pull onto the track, and it's Andy.
Mhm.
So he turns and he sees that it's us, and he just smiles. So the pursuit's on. And of course, you said like 45 and
Yeah.
all that. We were drifting like around the track.
Oh yeah, I know.
So he leaves the track, and we're heading out towards the bypass. We go like down the bypass half a mile. Pursuit, yeah. And finally he stops. And he's like, "Okay, all right, stop. We're all going to go to jail."
Oh my gosh.
So, fun's over. So yeah, he was a nut.
Because where that's at, so half mile to the bypass.
Yeah.
You're getting back towards Patty
Yeah,
Clay
so-
up there. So you're getting
Didn't go too far, but yeah, he
That's
definitely
hilarious.
he left the training grounds.
So quick one on Andy. The other day, well, last year about this time, I'm gonna say March, April. He's doing he's the driving coordinator for Danville PD. So I come over there to do my, they now have mandatory driving every 2 years or a year. You have to go do driving training. So Andy's the instructor for the PD up there, and he's like, I ride with him, do the course, back up, go back through it, done. He's like, "You got it?" I said, "Yeah, I got it." He's like, he's like, we don't have a time limit on this, but don't hit a cone or you have to do it again. Rojo. So I go through it, don't hit a cone, come back through. He said, "Well, you passed." But he said, that little skinny one on the right-hand side is the gas pedal. He said, "You went like 4 minutes through this course. You're supposed to do it like 45 seconds." I said, "You said no time limit." I was worried about it. He said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Why don't you go do it one more time a little faster?" And it's like, it's probably like a 2 minute. I doubled the time though.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my gosh."
That's awesome.
And he would call you out, and it's hilarious. He's still working up there.
I like Andy.
He's
He was
great
a good
guy.
instructor.
Great dude.
He was good. Did he ever tell you all the story about the monkey?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
So when he was working fish and wildlife, and I'm pretty sure it was him that told us that, he had stopped a vehicle and they had a pet monkey for whatever on a leash, and he ended up having to take the owner to jail. But he had tied that leash to that monkey to the back of his truck during the stop.
Oh no.
And it may have been a DUI while he was doing field sobriety and all that, and forgot about the monkey.
Oh no.
He said when they got to the jail, that monkey was clawed, latched onto the bumper for dear life, just shivering.
That's full on Chevy Chase.
Put the dead grandma
Yeah.
on the roof.
He's
Oh
like,
my God.
he's like, thank God I didn't drag a monkey
Yeah.
for.
Dragging.
Yeah, he was good.
You ever drag?
I did drag once. It wasn't the classic drag like the possum or whatever, but it was a toy pig.
Okay.
Ah,
Wasn't really aware, of course, that I was dragging at the time. So I think it was night shift maybe. It's usually when that happened.
Yeah.
Always.
that's a night shift activity for sure.
And, everybody they're like, "Come in here and watch this video. Somebody's dragging." So they put it on the screen. Of course, I'm ha ha. And I was like, "Wait a minute, that's my tag. That's my car. That's me."
You drug and they never let you in on the joke.
Yeah, I didn't know until I saw the video.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Did you ever get into any? Did you work with Joe a lot, didn't you, Joe Smith?
Oh yeah.
I know y'all got something funny up there because Joe's hilarious.
Joe
Yeah.
is hilarious.
I called him about coming on, and I'm like, I'm gonna guilt him. He's like, I'm just not.
He's introverted now.
Yeah, he's like, too introverted to go on the pod.
he's
I was
not.
like, come
Joe
on,
did good.
Joe.
Joe
No,
did
he'd do great.
Yeah, it's
He's
like
got,
it's not live. It's, I mean,
He's got
Yeah.
some of the funniest stuff.
Oh yeah, he would do awesome.
he's had such dry humor.
Oh, I know.
It's-
You got to
yeah.
listen to him twice.
It's
to see if
great.
he's joking.
Yeah.
If he's kidding or not. You're like, are you serious?
I remember when he done my home visit, when he just kind of came in, stood at the door, and I was playing a video game or something when he came in, and I had it paused. He's like, "Oh, you playing that? That's pretty good." He's like, "All right, looks good. See ya."
Yeah, it's funny.
Joe was, I guess he was supervisor one night. He was sergeant. It was me, him, and I can't remember who else was working. He had a couple 10-15s or one, and I had one in the back of my car. Two separate things. So I'm going south on Main, like toward the PD. He's coming north. I take that back. I had a 10-15. He's coming north, and he sees somebody walking. This is late, like 1 in the morning or something.
Right.
So he stops, and the guy that he's stopping to check takes off running from him, straight to me, like straight at me. So I'm like, all right, I got this guy, so what am I going to do? I said, all right, I'll chase him. So I throw the car in park, I take off. Chase him north on Main. We're kind of like there by Huffman's in that area at the school. Or the sidewalk, they dip down when you get to the street.
Mm-hmm.
So we're running, and then the sidewalk just comes out from under my feet, right? So face plant into the street, knocked my front tooth off. And just so happened the guy I was chasing, he had done the exact same thing. So we both pile up. So I grab him. Here comes Joe. Joe shows up. So I've got this guy, blood everywhere, my tooth broke out. So what does he assume?
He thinks y'all fought and he's
But this
punching him
guy's,
out.
yeah, so that kind of goes south. And at some point, I'm like, I fell down, Joe. He's like, oh.
Oops.
Yeah. But regardless,
Yeah.
He should have ran.
Exactly.
That's more to the story.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we had me and Josh together. I told the story about me and Derek up at the haunted area, and I know
Yeah.
Josh got. I don't know. You went to night shift for a while with me, back when it was Derek and me and you,
Yeah.
and maybe Eric Wilkerson, and maybe I forget the other supervisor. It might have been Matt or
I don't
something like
remember
that. And here we go up there, and Josh is like, Josh would go out there and check that alarm. I was like, did you forget? He's like, this place is haunted. Josh chin, oh yeah, I forgot. He's just been goofing around.
you talking about 4th Street?
Yeah.
Yeah.
4th Street's it's got some haints on it.
Yeah.
We've seen some things out there. But Josh gets this call one time. Josh he go on this bicycle diet where he rode the bicycle
I remember that.
like that's all he did, like 20 miles a day or something.
And ate gummy bears.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's
Smart ones.
Yeah.
yeah.
How did you not just crap your pants all the time?
He loses like 40 pounds like
Yeah.
in a month or two. So we get this call over at the trailer park. And Josh is like, I need some help over here. Some woman
I
that just
forgot
whooped
about
his tail, threw him around.
Pretty much.
It was Josh lost a lot of weight and I was like,
In my defense, she was a large woman.
she was.
Women are.
And
We've said this
threw you
before.
over, like pushed
women
you
are
over
hard
a
to fight.
coffee table or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was something, I think we were getting ready to take her kid
Yeah,
or something.
it was a bad situation.
Yeah.
And I remember as soon as I grabbed the radio, I was like, as soon as I came up, that's when she like throws me over something
Yeah.
over a table and stuff's breaking.
I need somebody
Yeah.
help done it.
I was like, somebody come over down there.
Yeah. So we get there and this woman's. So of course we're gonna be like, you got beat up by a woman, Josh.
Yeah.
Come on, you asking for help? But there's been some times, man. You don't want no part.
Listen,
Fight
I
like
mean,
men or worse.
we've said it before. Women are hard to fight because you're not trying to.
You don't want.
You don't
to.
want to fight a woman like you would a man.
trying
But then
not to.
sometimes they want to be fought like you.
Exactly.
It's funny. we had so me and Josh. I know we talked about should we talk about this, should we not? It's too much. It's too funny not to talk about. So Josh becomes my training officer. We've established that. I graduated the academy in 2003. Went to Mike Holiday. Went to Hoghead. Went to Mike Holiday. Ended up with Josh on the day shift, and I rode with Joe some, and so here me and Josh are, and it's like week one that I'm with him, day one. We go on a burglary complaint on there behind the PD somewhere, and we got our guns out, checking this house, searching. The next day, we got our guns out on something else. I mean, it was, and then we go on a traffic stop, and I look over at Josh as we pull up together, riding. We come out, we break leather, we're pointing our guns down there, at this suspect, because John Whitehead.
I think it was John Whitehead said.
Had somebody stop.
And he said something about a gun.
Yeah, said something. I didn't know that, because I was driving. Josh jumps out, he breaks leather. I come out, I draw him down. I look over at Josh, I was like, why are we pointing our guns all the time? He's like, I don't know, because John is, I guess. And we were just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. It's like, I'm serious. It was every time we got out of the car.
For whatever reason, there was like a week straight. Yeah, everything we went to was a gun call.
Yeah. It's not like we just jumped out, like, here we go.
Yeah.
But I remember another time, it was a chicken festival night. Well, 2 chicken festival stories real quick. I don't know if you got them. Remember, so me and Josh were doing the 500.
Yes.
But he turned around and was going to play chicken with me. I don't know if you remember this.
I do not remember.
We hit head on, and both tires came off the back tires when we hit. So we just looked at each other like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And we're getting ready to get into the Sloan Air.
Oh.
But I know one night at Chicken Festival, Eric Wilkerson had went up and found a couple guys breaking in
To a booth or something.
Well, we had a bunch of break-ins the night before at the booth, so we were on high alert. We was going to catch them because that's what night shift did. We was going to catch these people breaking into people's stuff. There was a burglary complaint on North Main. I'm not 100%. It's me and you working, but I ran and got my car to back him up because the other officer was out doing something else. So I was real close to the PD. So I got my cruiser and went down to Eric, who was on North Main Street at like a burglary in progress. He gets out and they go in foot pursuit. This is the secondary part of that. Just before that, Josh and I find somebody running through
just for no reason. There's just some dude running through.
And we catch him.
Jamie was with me then.
You always on golf carts.
We were on the golf cart, yeah.
And I was chasing them in a cruiser, and Jamie Sloan's hanging off the side of that thing like a monkey, shaking that car. You better run! You better run! You remember?
Yeah.
This idiot he runs up in an alley
behind medical art.
Yeah, and it doesn't have
nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go, so he's trapped. And of course, I was a little aggressive officer, and then Jamie's son was like, he said, your eyes glazed over. I said, you scared me. I was like, I said, Jamie, you're over there hanging off that side like a monkey.
Antagonizing.
Yes. I was like, what in the world? So, but
that was Mad Max in it.
Oh, yeah. it was classic. But the funniest Sloan story.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah. Let's set the stage here, because Josh and I and Derek were
night shift.
We were night shift. We get a call, and it was super busy that night.
Mm-hmm.
So I end up coming to this DUI stop at Arby's, which is now where Texas Roadhouse is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm there on this DUI stop, and I've got there's 4 people in the car.
2 guys, 2 girls.
Yeah. I'm dealing with the driver, and it was one of the women, and her daughter, and they were just mouthing. The guys were pretty cool, but they were drunk too. So I'd already hooked him up. I was going to take, but I've got 2 spots in my cruiser to put these arrested people. So I called Derek. Josh was out on something else, and he comes over and he's like, okay. So one had took off running, and I caught her. So she was my first 10-15. She was the driver. The other one, the daughter, kept running that mouth. So I hooked her up too. So now I got 4 people arrested. I can't get them back. I think a deputy came because you were tied completely
I
up.
don't remember what it was, but yeah.
And Derek couldn't stay because he had a burglary in progress going on.
Yeah, it was
something.
one of those
Another
nights.
very emergency call. I couldn't leave mine. We're just spread real thin. And I get him to the PD. I think a deputy helped me bring him. And then Josh gets freed up.
So I go to PD to help book these people.
Yeah, because it was getting a little wild.
Yeah.
Oh man, where do you start? So to kind of tell the story, these 2 guys, this was their very first blind date with this mother and daughter.
Ah.
It's already jacked up from the get-go.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right.
They're very quiet and cooperative because
The
they
guys are.
figured out real quick.
Yeah.
We have really messed up.
We should not have went on a date with these 2 women.
So at some point, he calls up to dispatch, and Jamie had just started.
Jamie was
dispatch.
dispatching, yeah.
And he comes back there. Go ahead with that, because I don't know why and how this all got started. How he got even called.
I don't know if they could see our video or
I don't know.
I don't remember.
You were like, you need to come back here or something. You know, like
Something probably, yeah. So the best way I remember, one of the women had went after you. They were all sitting in the book and trying to do her paperwork. One of them tries to go after Travis. So I go. That was the daughter, I think.
Yeah, she was just mouthing.
And she gets up and goes after Travis. So I grab her. So we're fighting. And then when that starts happening, the mother
She jumps up,
jumps
goes after
in,
him.
goes after me. So Travis gets her.
At one point, there was the one that came after me. Josh grabs and she hits the bench that's sitting back there, and her head hit that light
Switch thing.
and she went out for a hot second. She was knocked out a little bit, but somehow Jamie Sloan's back there watching this, and he stopped at the vending machine and got a pack of
peanut M&Ms.
It
So
was-
he's just sitting there watching all this.
Eating his M&Ms.
Eating his
Yes,
M&Ms.
just like a little squirrel over there. His eyes going darting around, like you could just see him. Like, where do I go?
And at one point, I'm riding the one like a bull
Yeah.
on their back.
Yeah, I take one down. Her pants, like she had on jeans or something, they came down all the way. So I look like I've mounted up on from behind on this girl. Tried to. The asp were being, well, that was later.
Yeah.
But I know this pepper spray was coming out everywhere. It was like the fountains at the Bellagio or wherever. Be a stream of pepper spray going this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you could put music beside it, and they were just lobbing. We ruined that printer. I know we did.
And the desk gets kicked out on the
Yeah.
floor, and the computers are everywhere.
And they were fighting.
And
this
it's just
man.
the women that's fighting?
Oh, they
Or
were
is it
trying to kill us.
the guys.
They're like, oh, what have we done? They're just
Yeah.
sitting there.
And they're sitting there choking in this pepper.
Yeah.
And
And at some point, Jason Van Hook was
Yep.
working in the sheriff's office,
Yep.
and he comes in the back door, asp out, and he's herding this one across the floor, like smacking the
floor beside her, trying to drive her like
One of those pig shows.
Yeah, that's exactly what
That's
it looked
exactly
like.
what happened.
Did he keep eye contact the whole time? That's-
I think so, but he couldn't stay in long because that pepper spray was
Yeah.
brutal.
yeah.
And then Derek shows up,
Yeah.
and he's like, "What have you all done? What's going?" I mean, it was full on Jerry Springer. No,
Yeah.
I mean,
He comes in, he's like, starts hacking and coughing. He's like, get him out of here. So I was like, I take these guys down there, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I even wrote them a citation. It just said go on. Because, I have a DUI, I have this, assault on police officers,
Yeah.
I have a menacing. And
Yeah, it's
I
turned
have
into
I have a law book full of charges on them too, and I'm pretty sure when we got down to the jailhouse, I just said, go on, boys. they were like, we get it. Because I was like, I don't have time.
Yeah.
And it was, I mean, calls were still going out. Derek had he got in a foot pursuit while we was doing all this. And he was mad. You know, he's like, we're tied up.
There's probably a Netflix series somewhere, like Worst Date Ever or something.
It's got to be.
That's awesome.
It's a blind date, double date with mom and daughter. And we went to hell quick.
Yeah. It was terrible. Somewhere, I don't know if I can find, somewhere I've got the video from that.
We got to find that. It was
I've got to see that.
classic. And Jamie Sloan's still eating them peanut M&Ms. I still see it.
Yeah.
Every time me and him get into it, he's always eating. Like the last time he.
He's just that guy in the corner eating the popcorn.
Eating popcorn. I'm like, I got you. It's funny. Classic. Oh, we had fun though. It was good.
Oh, yeah. Good times.
Just like a Jerry Springer episode.
It really was one of the. I couldn't believe it was happening. I remember at one time.
You are the father.
Yeah, that's what Sloan was waiting to. He was going to read the results.
Yeah. I remember one time and during all this, I was like, that woman kept getting up and dog cussing me. And I hit the table. And I'm pretty sure that's when Josh called and said, you need to get back here, Jamie. Because I think I was starting to get frustrated. And she'd slipped her handcuffs off.
Yeah, yeah.
And had one on. Had the other one off. And I was like, I had to get her back.
Yeah.
So it was on after that. And it was videoed. And it was, every bit of it was justified.
Oh, yeah.
It was
absolutely.
crazy. Crazy stuff. But it was, yeah. We had fun.
Like trying to catch a greased pig. Or, I mean, it was, yeah.
You trained Danny Robinson too, didn't you?
For some time, yeah. I don't remember when that was, but yeah, at some point during this FTO.
So one of the greatest stories I've ever heard. I don't know this one. I just know that
It's a short story, but it was funny. So Danny's driving, and I'm FTOing. Shoplifting call at what was it called? Vendors Mall.
Yeah.
North Main.
Yeah.
When it was there at the Palace Place or whatever.
Yeah.
Bright, hot, sunny summer day, AC wide open. So we and they had told, they'd come out and was like, we're still watching them, just wait out here, we don't want to spook them or whatever. And so I was like, well, just pull up here until they come out. And I think maybe we just ate lunch or something, but you know how that goes. So I'm out just like a light, I'm gone, sleep. So eventually I come to, I'm like, all right, has Danny got these people or what? And I look over and Danny's out. He's gone, like completely out, asleep. So we're both sitting here asleep. And I'm like, oh no, have these people left and like walked right past our car or what's happened? But luckily I don't think they had. But yeah, that was funny.
we both fell asleep right in broad daylight.
And I think I told him, I was like, all right, just wait for them to come out and tell us, make sure, get me or whatever. No, that didn't work.
Oh my God. I couldn't imagine Danny sitting over there dead asleep.
Yeah, like drooling.
Yeah. Because, I saw him in law class, in legal, so I knew how he'd go. Be like, that guy's sleeping. I think, I'm drifting.
Yeah.
He went out.
Yeah.
Make him go stand at the back of the classroom.
He was a constant one back there. I don't think he fought it much, so he's like, I'm out.
Yeah.
He's a good detective.
Another Derek story for you.
Yeah. I love Derek stories. He loves them too. I'll get a phone call. Man, is that what you all really think about me? You're just always in the middle of it.
Well, Derek didn't really. Well, yeah, I guess he did do this one. So I don't remember what year it was, but there was it was a shoplifting complaint started that way at the same place you talked about, by where Texas Roadhouse. Used to be a Shell station or something.
Yeah, I had a Shell station.
Yeah.
Had a Arby's at one time. I had one of them sandwich shops there for a while too.
Yeah. So, and I want to think it was maybe Roy Gambrell was working, and me, and I don't know who else. And I think possibly Roy had got there first. Calls pursuit. It was a female shoplifting. Takes off in the car. And for whatever reason, I was like pulling in right when all this was happening. So I ended up being first car in the pursuit. So we go out. 363, Maple Grove.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
We get to, where the S curves are when you get pretty good way out Maple Grove.
Oh yeah.
So we get through there. And this chick just takes off in somebody's yard. And I follow her. So we go around the house, and there's people like on the back porch barbecuing. And,
Oh my God.
so we're going around, mud flying. Come back out to the road, and she wrecked. And then there's gunshots in this pursuit, by the way, but not from me. So, long story short, 10:15, take her, because she was complaining of being hurt, hospital.
Allergic to cuffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go to the hospital, get her checked in, yada, yada. And I'm sitting back there at the little desk trying to do paperwork. They come to get her to go do x-rays or something. So, after like 45 minutes, I was like, "Wait, where's this chick at?" And they said, "I don't know. We took her back to the room. Gone. Beats feet. Escapee on the run."
Oh yeah, been there.
So, long story short, she's gone for like a week, probably 3 or 4 days a week. I get a call one day to come by the PD to the front, and it's like the flower delivery people delivering me flowers. And the tag on the flowers says, there's like this big note, "Thank you. If it wasn't for you, I couldn't be free like I am today." And it was signed this woman's name or whatever.
Yeah.
But Derek set that up.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Had me flowers delivered from my escapee. So,
I bet you's mad.
oh yeah.
That's embarrassing.
That's awesome. How long did they let you go before they?
Oh, it wasn't hard to figure out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. I've
Because you could imagine. I was tore up about it anyway.
Oh yeah.
man, I was up at. They just were seeding a circuit. Is the guy that me and Richie talked about that we found in the corner, and we picked him up, body slam, all that stuff. So they were sitting at circuit court trial. They were sitting a jury, and last second during this, they were getting ready to start the trial process, and he comes in with a plea. So he pleads to 5-10 years or whatever. And they were like, okay. So I'm still up there just, kind of waiting. This was in the old courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, good. So we're sitting up there talking to some bailiffs. Well, some bailiffs go and get that guy some food and let him go to the bathroom. Well, he shimmied out, man. He was an escape artist. Like we said in that last podcast, he'd hid from us good. Well, he scales down the side gets out of the window, and he's gone. And bailiffs are looking around. Have you seen him? I'm like, oh no. He's a master at escaping.
Yeah.
He was gone. He was gone for 2 weeks, man.
Really?
He was right there, and I think they found him up in Sue Bennett somewhere hiding. But it was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh.
I finally did redeem myself and catch my chick too.
How'd you find him?
We got an address or something, or somebody ratted her out, or something. I can't remember.
Eventually,
So you went.
I think I actually did go and pick her up. Yeah.
And she's still gone.
I would have. Yeah. You get determined on that stuff.
Oh, man, it drives you crazy. You're like, I gotta find her. You got 100 things going on in your head, and she's right there, and I gotta find her.
And your cop friends are relentless and send you flowers.
Yeah,
And,
that's
of course.
Jerks. I'll remember that. That's good stuff, though. I can't believe Derek would do that.
No, not at all.
That's funny though.
What else we got? I know you got some classics.
Let's see.
We had such a good time. All them years of policing together. I remember our last night policing when he was at the PD right before we went to sheriff's office. We was working night shift and started the next day.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, why are you here?
Yeah.
I had to have night shift.
And just the difference in the world. I didn't have. I knew it was different, but not that different. So whenever I started at the sheriff's office, of course, I get up, get my uniform on. I was day shift, like 6. I think we were working 6 to 4. Or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And get up, go 10-8, drive to the sheriff's office. There's no lights. It's completely blacked out, no lights, nobody there. I go in, turn the lights on. The whole first day, never seen anybody. I just answered call after call after call.
Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
Everybody else went 10-8 from the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got up, got their coffee till about 8 or 9.
That was the routine for the sheriff's department. Was you called 10-8,
Yeah.
then got in the shower.
Different world.
Yeah.
I had a job offer from him later, and I was like, man, it would have been like to work there. And I don't know.
Parts of me think it would have been better, and then others would be like, you get pretty much destroyed on calls. Yeah.
Yeah.
You might have 2 deputies working.
Well, and there for the longest time, they didn't have detectives that were picking up. You might get stuck with whatever. You get a rape or a sex, something.
Yeah.
You're stuck working it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. You're it. Yeah, it's different.
It is different.
We were spoiled and had Stacy, so.
Well, you're spoiled, and you had 3 units. Most of the time that was required, they
Yeah.
were always backing up, and
Well,
we had
that's true, yeah.
not nearly the area to cover as the
Yeah.
sheriff's office, which spoiled you. You always had backup for the most part. I mean, there's those rare occasions where we're all chasing crazy people,
Yeah.
but it was you always had somebody,
Or at least knew somebody was going to be there within a few minutes. I mean,
Absolutely, yeah, because you could get over town at night shift. You could be anywhere you need to be in about 2 to 3 minutes. Really.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can effectively run 100 and so on Main Street, but you can do it.
So they say.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Now, what about your? You were talking about the Little John story earlier.
Yeah.
Might as well tell that one.
I see. I have no recall of this. I was just told this by Huggy, who.
Okay.
So Justin Hopkins is like, listen. He was telling his story one night or one day. He was talking. It was the next day because I think we was working schools together. He said, "Let me tell you what happened." So I'm gonna let you take that one because I have no idea everything.
I'll tell it the best I can remember. I was the sergeant. I guess we were. Yeah, that was a night
Day
shift.
shift. Was it night
I think
shift?
it was night shift at that time, or maybe I was filling in, or I don't remember. So it was me, Little John. May have just been me and Little John. And Little John's awesome. I love Little John. You could tell Little John climb up in that tree and stay there till
He's a Marine. He's
Yeah.
going to do it.
climb up in the tree. I'll let you know when to come down, and he'd be up there a week later.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I don't think he was from here, was he? Was he? Or he'd been maybe from here, but he'd been gone.
Yeah, he was
Military
and came back. I think he was. Yeah.
So didn't really know the area all that well. So he had a GPS he would keep in his car. you know where I'm going.
Yeah.
So we get a call earlier in the night about a female refusing to leave a house or something. John handles that. I didn't even go. So later we get a call of a burglary at, was it Justin's?
Justin's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
It was before he moved, but it was right there on.
Yeah.
I think he was living in a double wide or single wide.
So I go to that. And there's this chick in his house. Drunk. And had kicked the door in and went. And they found her like in the bed or walking down the hallway or
she
something.
was in the bed, yeah.
So I snatch her up, 10:15. Like, all right, yeah, we got her. Hoorah.
Yeah.
And Little John, he yells at me. He's like, I think maybe we'd run her license or had somewhere come up with an address. I can't remember exactly how it went. So he yells, and he's like, I was just with her earlier. I was like, He said, yeah, that call that they were trying to get this lady out of their house. He said, I think that's her. He said, I took her home. And my heart starts dropping, right? So I was like, oh, where'd you take her? Oh, to such and such, whatever the address was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm standing there. And I'm like, oh, no. So I was like, so how did you determine this was her house or whatever? He said, well, she said it was. Or told him an address, and he punched it in the GPS, and it was actually real near there.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't the right house. So he takes her, basically assist her in breaking into.
Yeah. One of the PD unit's house.
Yes.
Wow.
That is hilarious.
It worked out, and it was an honest mistake. But we gave him a hard time after it.
Yeah,
That is fun. Yeah.
Justin, he told me, he said, I didn't know Josh used that kind of language. He said he lit him up for a minute.
So
It was
Little
funny.
John was known as Magellan there for a while. So
That's awesome.
Find his way around.
You find you definitely earn your nicknames
Yeah.
in this
yeah.
field of work.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, honest mistake. Like I said, he didn't know
Honest
the road.
mistake that he... She,
I mean,
thought, she thought she was home.
She
was so
thought
drunk.
she was home. Yeah, she was like couldn't get her key to open, so she kicks the
She's
door
like-
in and goes to bed.
She was like the Three Little Bears girl.
Yeah.
She's this pillow. Look, this is just right. It just happened to be.
Yeah. What's the odds of that?
It's
Yeah, what's
crazy.
the odds of nobody being home whenever they,
I know.
That's funny.
He's probably over at mom's and dad's or somewhere. You know, they're always together. That's the
Well,
most
that's true,
family
yeah.
oriented bunch I've ever seen.
So I went from being like, all right, yeah, we got this chick that broke in their house to, oh my God.
We caused this.
We're complicit in this burglary.
Exactly.
It's good times. What else you got? I know you
Oh
got
man, I don't know.
some years and years worth.
Can you think of anything? I'm just about out.
It's
And I'm
just
sure there's more. I'm sure there's plenty more.
just like how you do 20-something years of policing,
Everything starts to run together.
and
It
you're like,
does.
holy cow, did this happen then? But it's just the way it goes. It was
I
fun.
can't
time.
remember. Did Gary tell the story about him and Little John and the female that was they pretty much thought they was going to have hazmat suits to take care of her?
I got a similar story. If you're going where I think you're going,
Yeah, this one she was on something. It was like bath salts or something. She was out of her head, completely naked. I was off. That was my short day for that week. Thank God I missed that one. And he got out there assisting them, and so she was just like she was going to town.
Using
And-
one of your marital aids.
Yeah,
I didn't
This
think
was-
that's where you were going.
this was a from the story that I heard, it was a
I don't want to go this route.
Yeah.
So you obviously wasn't there. So I'd rather hear yours because that sounds awful.
yeah. This one's bad. You have to get, but his nickname is Pork Chop now.
Oh no.
Wow.
We'll get him to tell it.
Similar. Well, not similar to that,
No, I'm glad.
but I think I was still at the PD. Got a call. That's when we had Kroger, North Main. It's still there. So shoplifter, and they had their little office. Like they would
Yeah.
take them upstairs.
Yeah.
Female shoplifter, Kroger. All right, whatever. Roll in. I walk in, and I noticed everybody's like all the cashiers and stuff. They're looking at me all weird. What's up? And they would just point like toward the office. Like, she's up there. Okay. Get a little closer to the office. Somebody else gives me a weird look. Points. She's up there. Oh, all right. So I get upstairs, and there's 2 or 3 managers or whoever. Weird looks on their face. She's over there, sitting in a metal chair with crap dripping,
Oh yeah, that's
dripping into the floor.
They're just feeling sorry for you.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah. That was bad.
I've been there. I wonder if it's the same one. She used to go and steal those.
Large woman.
That one lady that Kenny Jones. Somebody got that long car chase. She would take those dust off stuff. That dust.
Oh, yeah.
yes. I've dealt with
that
her.
stuff,
I've
she'd
dealt
pass
with her at
I know what you're
Walmart.
talking about.
Yeah, but
I don't even know if she's alive anymore.
I don't think she is.
It's sad, but she got hooked on
Yeah.
on that kind of stuff.
Used to live in east part of the town.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was taking her to jail. She shoplifted some of those things from Walmart to the PD's. Only what, a half mile, maybe a mile, and she passed out back there. Came back to. She said, "I've pooped all over myself back here." I was like, and then it hit me, that smell. I was hanging my head out like a dog. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I made her clean it. At least I was like, "Yeah, I ain't touching that." I think I was ready to burn my car to the ground. But it just happens. One time these women, I think it's me and TC. We were sitting. I just had to go deliver some like a death notification. Awful.
Yeah.
So we're sitting underneath, and it was at the like the Flowers Bakery in there. So we're sitting across the road over at that funeral home. It sounds morbid, but that was just where we could park. They're close to each other. So we're sitting there talking about this. You know, I'm like, man, I'm getting ready to have to walk in here. We was trying to verify that he was there. And TC's like, we're sitting there in the cop tuned up position, and this women go by and they holler out, "F you cops" or "F you pigs," you know. I was like, huh. So we chase them down, of course, because we pull up and they're naked. These one, and they wasn't. I was like, "What are you doing on dates?" I'm like, "What have you all? Why? Why would you? Did you just want to show us because you didn't think we'd come after you? Or what is going on?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, I knew their mom."
Really?
Oh, it got real bad real quick. It was her 18th birthday.
Oh,
and I was like, "I'm gonna have to call. I'm gonna have to call on you here."
Oh no!
It was horrible. Look, they weren't even drunk. They were just stupid out naked in that driving around. I'm like, why? Come on. What is
it's
wrong?
hard to figure out what goes through people's head.
I don't know. But that was now Mount Vernon, Kentucky. When I went up there for a hot minute, I saw more dead people in that little town and more naked people than I ever wanted to see in my life. And some of them be dead naked. Some might just be naked. I walked out, me and Ed Robbins. You remember Ed? He used to work at the jail down here.
Yeah.
And another deputy or another officer. We go on this domestic call. Woman, or it's mother, daughter. She kicks open this door, or we're let in, and this woman, the daughter's in the shower. And she'd been in there like hours, just wouldn't come out. Mom's like, "You've got to leave. You've lost your mind," all that stuff. So I said, next time she opens that door, don't let her close it again. Because the mom wants her out of here. She's crazy. Let's get her help. So she opened that door a little, cracked it, and them boys just piled in. So I was in the back bedroom talking to Mom. And when I come out, she's naked as a jaybird. And I look at her, and she said, "What are you looking at? You want a piece of that?" I was like, "No, God, no, please."
No, thank you.
No, I'm scarred for life.
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, thank you. I'm good." Oh, my gosh.
That reminds me. We get Cody on here. I'll get him to tell it from his perspective, but we've got video of it too. But he is a 202A call, and it was over in one of the complexes, the apartment complexes. But we'd had calls. This was probably the 5th call to this apartment that day, and same kind of scenario. The mother had let the daughter, who was 202, which is mentally ill, and stay there. Well, she's off her meds, went nuts, and won't leave. So we go over there. We're trying to sweet talk her, all that. Well, she comes down the stairs when we get there, and she's arguing with us and telling us all that, and then just in the middle of our conversation, just starts stripping, butt naked.
Yeah.
And you try and maintain a professional, attitude. You don't.
I may have an idea who that is.
You don't laugh. Her mom's real little. She's a big unit, though.
Oh, that's not who I'm thinking of.
No, but but Cody.
I know who you're talking about.
In the middle of it, it's so funny on his body cam. You just hear him go, "Honey, quit! Oh, that's gross. Quit."
I came around. We had a complaint of this woman drunk walking around over at that little trailer park on Middle Ground Way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about back there? There's just 3 or 4 trailers. Well, me and Boo and somebody else pull in there, and I hit my headlights hit first. And this drunk woman, older lady, is in a kiddie pool, just splashing around naked. I was like, "Oh,
Here we go.
Here we go."
You know what's coming.
I was like, "Gosh, get her a shirt and let's go." So we took I don't know whose it was, but there was some clotheslines out there. We just yanked a T-shirt off and said, "Put that on and get in this car." I don't know. We probably stole it. I don't have a clue where we was at, but we had to get that covered up.
Yeah,
we can't handle this stuff.
your
So.
tendency to run into naked people is pretty high in policing.
It is for some
It's
reason.
crazy.
I missed out during COVID too. They had a guy. You may have been involved in
I
this.
hope
There was
not. With a guy.
there was a guy. Everybody was trying to stay out of getting COVID and all that.
Yeah.
You know, and they had a call. It may have been over Reams Lane. I can't remember, but they had to end up fight with a naked guy that had ended up tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
The whole time, every one of them got sick. But
Yeah.
it was
You retired at what 2019, right before COVID or something, or 2020?
Let's see. I've been at the courthouse for a little over 5 years, 5.5 years.
Yes,
so
sir, right about that time.
right roughly in there.
Oh, it's such an enjoyable time, that retirement feeling. And nothing
While it
better.
lasted, yeah.
Then you go right back to work.
Right back to work.
Can you really consider that work though?
It's way more laid back than
Yeah, I where I work, in the schools, I've honestly, I've had 2 complaints I've had to work this year.
really.
Parking lot wreck that didn't really require nothing because they took care of it on their own, and just some crazy guy. Other than that, I'm like, I can't believe they pay me to do this.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
done nothing.
There comes a time where you got to slow down.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm ready to.
That
I'm ready to hang it all up now. I'm getting closer. I feel it in my I'm ready to hang up the gun belt.
Got it out of your
think so.
blood, out of your system.
I may have to reapply for the courthouse or something. We'll see.
Oh, there's no way it would have to pay really, really well before I'd ever put a gun belt
I
back
know
on.
it. Oh man, it's been fun. What a trip down memory lane, because Josh and I, you
Pretty
started in
much.
'98,
98, you were.
but I was just a couple years behind you. But it feels like, which we see each other all the time, but it's just right there. You're like, oh, I'm retiring now. I was like, I got 2 years, whatever it was. You're
yeah.
like, I'm almost there. It's just
we were
crazy.
pretty much all the way through
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
basically.
Until you went to the SO.
Went
But
to the
we
SO.
still, though,
Right.
you was both day shifts. Of
Of course, I went to also, thinking, I can make more money at the SO.
Then we got
And then as soon as I go to as soon as you go to the SO, then the city gets a big pay raise.
Yeah.
But it's not always about money, But
No, but if you're in your last 3 years and wanting to bump that high 3, you
Yeah.
might,
Yeah, I know.
it becomes.
Sometimes it ain't worth it though.
Yeah.
Sticking too long.
I would
You know
agree.
what? I'll go early, and that's what I question people that can go that
Yeah.
still had that 20 years.
oh yeah,
Why would you not get it
Well, you've got to
and
weigh out.
use it?
well you can.
Yeah, and then go get you a second job if you want to do
Well,
that
I
still
done my
and
20.
double up.
Done my 20, and when I retired, I had the intention. I wasn't retiring. I retired knowing that I was going back.
Yeah,
to
me
work.
too.
Yeah,
I mean, I was told by my wife, like, you're 46 years old.
You're not retired.
You're not retired.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a good thing about policing is that was a career that you could get into, work your 20 years, get into it at 21, be 41 when you retired or 45 or whatever,
Yeah.
go get another.
and then go
retirement.
get another
Yeah.
retirement.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
And it's changed some now though.
they would tell us. Like, you get that 20 years, retire, then you go make money.
Right.
I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's been a pretty cool way to look at it like that. It's like,
Let your piddly retirement pay your electric bill or whatever. and-
right.
yeah, and that's, but you make, it's ours forever. And
Yeah.
no matter what I do, if I change jobs 100 times, I never start at zero.
Right.
I've
Right,
always
you've
got
always
that.
got that.
I've got a salary coming in
Yeah.
every
Right.
month, and
That's nice to have.
and,
Which they
and our
now they've
benefits.
changed where
Yeah, that
So the tier that I went into was tier 3, and so your insurance is not paid anymore. You get like so much per year of service, and then to get it even close to paying it, you'd have to work like 35 years.
that's the
And then-
bad part about it. Is the benefits.
Yeah,
20 years is awesome. Yeah, you don't make as much as you did if you went the full 27 or whatever you need to get to, but it's there.
yeah.
But when I was one of the last, I think they changed it real quick.
yeah, I'd say you were right on the
Yeah.
edge.
As
You
that
had a tier
20
2A.
hazards.
Tier 2A, I think,
I
still
was
got
the-
20.
Yeah,
And
I was
then-
that.
And then after that, it went to 25.
Yeah.
So the tier I was in was 25 if you were hazardous. If you worked for a non-hazardous agency, it was like 27 or years of service plus such and such had to equal 80s or whatever. I mean,
Which makes it even harder now to
Yeah.
get good cops.
people.
And why, if the incentives aren't there, why do it?
And there's
Right.
and to be honest, 20 years, yeah, it's young, but your body breaks down, man.
Oh, yeah.
I can't turn my
It's
head
not
to the right
it's
and
not
left
an old
anymore.
man's game.
My
Not-
feet, I got to go get cortisone shots in both my toes now every
Oh,
It's,
90
it's kind
days.
of like the NFL. Like you don't see these guys, quarterbacks. You see them retiring at 40. You
Yeah.
see them
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
You don't. Nobody wants to be out on the street fighting and
When you
running
hear
and
your
with
hearing aid
your-
batteries go dead on you.
Yeah.
I've got all the old man problems, and I'm not even yet 50. So
And that
When
gun
you get
belt,
out of the car and
That gun belt
your
wear
knee
you
pops
down.
loud enough, makes you draw your gun. You got
you got that stuff on the gun belt poking you in the back for 20 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
So the incentive has changed, and people look at it and be like, "Man, that's way too young. That's the way."
I had
There's
heard
a
they're trying
reason.
to
There's a reason, and I
heard
hope they
something
bring
push
it
it
back.
back. Yeah,
I've heard that too.
I don't know if it'll make it through. I think it may be a Democrat bill that's coming through. So who knows?
Didn't they do some buyouts and stuff? And
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Trying to close that, get people on out that can, especially the 20-year guys. So who knows? But we'll say policing's changed a lot. But what they really need to focus on, honestly, is pay fixes a lot of stuff.
It does.
However,
but just for a time.
benefits, the benefit package that we got compared to what these new guys have is just not worth it.
I mean, would you go into it and, as a
No.
21-year-old right
Not
now
now.
like that?
No,
I mean, I don't,
you can't.
And you've got to weigh, your mental health also as far as the length of time that you're in it,
Yeah.
and is,
You can
my
only-
degrading mental health, is it worth?
You
the
can
extra
only
$200 or
see so
$300 that
much
you're going, yeah.
of the stuff that we've seen
Mm-hmm.
without losing. Without you can only file so much in that brain
Uh-huh.
before it spills out, and that's the 20
I've had-
years is a good mark. And I still think you need to go get talk to some people and
Decompress,
do what we're doing right here.
debrief, a full career debriefing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've had conversations with my wife and stuff, not really making fun or just kind of making light of something that you've done or whatever. And she's like, why would you say that?
That's terrible. Yeah.
I'm like, that's just how you.
That's how you cope.
Yeah. My wife, she's like, "You're so cold hearted." I said, "I'm not though." I was like, I'm not
It's
being
just a-
serious.
Yeah,
It's just, I mean,
It's a we
Yeah.
call it like a conditioning yourself to bad, and you just kind of able to prioritize and block stuff out that really hit
One
you.
more quick story on that,
Yeah.
kind of on that topic. During that first week before we went to the police academy, we were just kind of floating around doing painting, whatever, at the PD. 46 comes out on the interstate. Tim Smallwood. He's like, "Come on, you can go with me." So we go. First call I'd ever been on as a police officer, right? Hadn't even been. We were still waiting to go to the academy. Roll up. It's like a head-on at the 38. Some man and woman's heads are smashed through the windshield. They're both dead.
it's a terrible scene.
It's awful.
Yeah.
That's your first call.
Very first thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
And so we get back in the car, and Tim's like, "All right, where you want to eat lunch?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's like, I need some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you
No,
get
exactly.
there. You get,
yeah.
But
yeah.
you get there, and it's amazing
Yeah.
how fast you get there.
Yeah.
And it's funny. You'll be standing over a dead body or something, and you're sitting there thinking, we eating Fiesta again, or
Yeah.
It's like,
There's only so many times we can go eat Mexican.
you would
But you
think,
would think.
but our night shift, it was
I remember
3 and 4
me and
times.
Derek, and I don't know if we told this story, and you might have been working. Daryl's in it, and Rob Mitchell were way out somewhere on the county line towards Clay County. This old man found out he had cancer, and he put a shotgun to his face.
Is that the one that lived?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that.
you did tell it. So yeah,
So that kind of stuff freaks you out, and you're like, I can't close my. That's the
Yeah.
ones I
You
still
see
see
that.
that
Yeah,
in my
absolutely.
brain, and that's been 20 years ago. That was early in my career.
There's still stuff I can smell.
Yeah,
Like,
yes.
it just bothers.
So they always told me the smell. The first time you do a death investigation or have to go do a welfare check, and
Yeah.
it turns out the worst way it can.
Yeah.
The smell when you enter the room is, and they're right. You'll never
Never forget
forget that. It is a specific smell.
I know we've up there on there's been 2 calls of smells that I still can't. Bunch of dead dogs in a house that got trapped on Ford Street.
Mm.
That was awful. And then that little old lady up there that had died.
Is that the one that didn't have family close by and they hadn't checked on her in a while?
It was horrible.
That one, that one was bad.
That one just affected you. Like, oh, it's just tough. It's a tough business.
And that's a good point. If you've got family or relatives that you ain't checked on in a while, check
on.
on
Oh,
them.
yeah,
Because she had
absolutely.
been there so long, she had melted into the
It
couch.
was rough.
mean,
And there's
it was-
just things that you know. Another thing with policing and with this, 20 years is about all somebody can take a lot of times, really.
Yeah.
And then go do something
Yeah. You just
something
gotta,
joyful.
Got to make light of it and make the best
Yeah,
of it.
I've never been in the military, and you've got your tours of duty on that, but you get to come home from that.
Yeah.
On as far as policing, so I don't want to take light of that, and with what I'm saying, but you go out every day and see this in the same spot, the same places, the same. It's like a tour that never ends, really. I mean,
Yeah. The
So-
only difference is it could be real bad. You
Yeah.
know, my first week as chief,
Oh,
like triple fatal on the interstate, and you're like, oh my gosh, it makes national news. I'm like, you just have, and it just started. I tell everybody, I'm like, I had 19 and a half years of awesome policing, and then that last 6
Just
months
takes
was
a couple.
brutal.
Yeah.
it was a
So
rough
it's
6
just a rough
months.
6 months. It was. So dealing with that, my when things happen and people talk, and I'm fortunate enough that I've got a great family that check on me, and I'm blessed that even like my therapist knows that things will trigger, and she'll call and reach out and be like, "Hey, you doing okay?
That's good, yeah.
You need to come in."
Yeah.
So it's funny, but
Yeah.
it's tough. So
Yeah.
everybody needs to, I think, decompress when they get
Yeah,
out.
with all that being said, don't be ashamed to go talk to somebody. You ain't. I mean, it's just part of it.
Yeah,
You ain't.
it is. Well, anything else, or we won't
Not
shut
that
it down?
Not that I can think of. I'm sure I will as soon as we quit.
If you're like the rest of us, we think of 3 more
Yeah.
stories as soon as we're done.
Think of those, and we'll do it again
That
sometime.
sounds good. I enjoyed it, guys.
We
It's
got
fun.
nothing but
It's
time.
easy.
Yep.
I appreciate it. It's been great having you,
I
Josh.
enjoyed it. Thank you all.
Yep. Don't be a stranger.
We'll see you next time.